I like being last sometimes because I get to do what the executive consultant on me does, Jack. You know what I mean? And that's how, we already know what they do, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. Love the Awesome Kong pick. Didn't think to even consider putting a woman in this top 5, but I do think she would belong there along with some other women, so I give her that. If somebody would say Victoria, even though she didn't get her start here, I'd have did that. Again, no disrespect, the same way I feel about one Ricky Starks. Once MJF called him the Pebble, to me, gailkim will always be Phil Yim. I never forget when that was a thing being said about her. They were calling her Phil Yim because she had felt so epically in the WWE. But for me, when I saw this list and I wanted to come up with my top 5, I thought about the 5 people that are synonymous or made TNA a big deal, right? Because to me, when it comes to certain federations, what separates AEW, if you don't know AEW, like my children don't watch AEW, but they will see, oh, that's where John Moxley is, Dean Ambrose is here, Jericho was there, Cody Rhodes was there. So to me, the first guy that made it watchable for just diehard WWE fans was this guy right here, Mr. Christian Cage. To me, he stepped out of the complete shadow of Edge at this point. He was the first one to jump ship to TNA, okay? And because of that, to me, it propelled his career enough that when he did come back to WWE, they gave him that title shot run that I think that he deserved. Should have been bigger than that. To me, I've always been a fan of Christian over Edge, the same way I've always been a fan of Matt Hardy over Jeff. I think he's better in the ring than Edge, and I also think he's better on the microphone than Edge. That's just me. I said what I said. At me at Mike Knox with 3X's because I'm hardcore enough to say the shit that you guys won't say. Jack, that's my number 5, Christian Cage. I'm with you. Same way I feel about Taker, I felt about Sting. Never a big guy, but respected him. Always thought he was a great ambassador for wrestling and the company that he represented. So I love you guys' pick. See where he falls on mine if he falls at all. But again, I looked at this company and for me, making my decisions, my picks in this, I just love the fact that, again, guys that help propel this company. This guy, talking about someone spending more time in one company than another, Kurt Angle's my number 4. Kurt Angle has spent more time here than he did in WWE, but he will forever be known for WWE reasons. Why is that? I do not know. But I will tell you this much, even he talked about it recently in an interview. His best matches really were in TNA. His matches with ajstyles, his matches with Samoa Joe, his matches with RVD, his matches with Sting. He has his matches with Christian Cage. This guy, his matches with Jeff Jarrett. This guy, Kurt Angle, the wrestling machine, they gave him that name, was here. The wrestling machine, Kurt Angle, left WWE for I wouldn't say greener pastures, but was better for his career for whatever reason that was. I personally think he regrets that decision, but nonetheless, I think this guy, with Christian being 5, Kurt Angle being my number 4, as the guys that are the best top guys that TNA has had. That's my number 4. My number 3, you both picked as your number 4. And just to be real fast and not linger on that, it's the same guy. That's about the order we put them in. Again, it's guys that came over that elevated TNA. Okay, so when I'm looking at who elevated TNA, it's so many honorable mentions. If you just look at TNA's roster, it's ridiculous. You can flip-flop. Like, I don't have Joe in my top 5, but damn it, who cares? He could be there. I'm not going to disagree with any of that, right? This is one of them lists where it's not about who's right or who's wrong. It's about what we perceive as their top 5. So my number 3 is the man Sting. Here go a guy who, I'm a surfer Sting guy, as I like to refer to it. I love the 80s version of Sting. When he turned Crow Sting, I wasn't the biggest fan. When he came over here at first, it's like how people may have felt about the Bray Wyatt's Fiery Funhouse. From day one, I loved it. When I first saw Sting's Joker gimmick, I didn't understand it. And then as I copped as it elevated and marinated, that was one of, to me, Sting's best gimmicks. F the Crow Sting. This Joker Sting had layers to him. And it was amazing to see. And then he goes into the main event Mafia. I know we talked about it probably in our groups before. I had to go back and watch that thing. I would arguably say they're probably a top 5 faction of all time as the main event Mafia. Just look at their credentials and what they did for this company. My number 3, you guys number 4. No matter where you put him at, the man they call Sting. So my number 2, everything you just said is exactly true. There would be no TNA Like there would be no AEW without Cody Rhodes. There would be no TNA Impact without Jeff Jarrett, the king of the mountain matches. This man took a company, said, what, WCW, you don't want me to get over? Oh, Vince, I can't come work for you? I'll create my own shit. Okay? And I, like you just said, I will book myself every single week, slap nuts, to get over. And not only that, I'm going to get the biggest guy in the company, Kurt Angle, and I'm going to take his wife. Okay? And I'm going to make her mine. And that's what I'm going to do because I'm JEFFJARRETT. I can do that, slap nuts. My number 2, Jeff freaking Jarrett, the king of the mountain. I don't think it's enough credit. I love that.
Oh, he hated that. He hated that.
I think whatever can be said is AJ Styles to me is exactly that, the phenomenal one. And here go a wrestler who, for myself, okay, and let's make sure I say this in respect. The thoughts and opinions on this program that belong to each said individual is not, I'll always represent everybody on Pop Review, entertainment or wrestling, okay?
That's good choose.
I could not stand AJ Styles as far as, he was one of the guys that he's good here, but if he's here, like you mentioned earlier about Kurt Angle, having someone say his best times are in TNA. To me, it can't be in TNA because it's the platform. Platforms matter, okay? If only 40,000 people are watching you as opposed to 2 million people watching you, it's a different platform. What you do at WrestleMania matters compared to what you do at Slammiversary. No offense towards the wrestlers involved in those companies or anything like that. No disrespect at all. I just think it's about the platform. AJ Styles, to me, I knew he was the best thing I saw over there in the ring-wise. I didn't know if he could be entertaining enough. But then when he came to WWE and that whole beat up John Cena and the things he's done since then, I mean, I think this guy is every bit of the name that everybody proclaimed him to be. He's one of the Dice Man's, we keep saying him, but y'all clearly y'all can't see him. Favorite wrestlers is him. He is truly that, and I mean it, pun intended. He is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. There is no one in that ring over in TNA other than Kurt Angle better than him in that squared circle. But again, I want to see him put it together, and damn it, he has a hell of a career. This man will be a Hall of Famer in every company he's ever set foot in. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, WWE. This man is a triple Hall of Famer.